What's up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonia? What's up, Sonia? Fat Mama Sonia. What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. And, we got, of course, another panel, special guest in the building. Of course, the legendary schoolboy, Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing wonderful, wonderful.
Good. Salute to everybody. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got the OG Roscoe Grant, Lil Rock in the building. How you doing today, brother?
Oh, super fantastic. God is good.
Yes, indeed. And, of course, we have Welcome Down Ram, Big Steppin'. What it do, Ram?
Oh, man, chilling. Salute to the OGs, my brother 7-8, and everybody who came and fuck with us on this good old Bulldog Sunday, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My apologies for Friday, y'all. We had, some stuff. I had some personal business to take care of and shit. But we here Sunday. We always gonna get the show in. So here we go. Let me get to a quick roll call real quick. 614 Tree in the building. What's happening? John Kramer, salute, fam. JMM, Robert Tucker, Mark Wonderlynch, Miami Snoopy 305, Diego Green Bucks. We got Arrowhead Kennels, Supreme Excellence, salute. Melvin Brown, what's happening with it, man? Slump City Kennels, Black Ham TV, Jeff the producer, Trey Brown, Douglas Murray. We got Gullery Kennels, Boss Bloody. We got Hardy Dogs Pennsylvania in the building, Ty Green, The Provocative Bully, Paris Jackson, Bob Otto. We got Duke Nukem. Salute to you, man. Salute to everybody coming in from Instagram. Mr. Anderson, salute to you. All around strong in the building. Boss Bloody. We got Turf King Kennels, Mike G, Skills from New Orleans. What's that? More Keith, salute. The lovely Brown Sugar Tay Brown in the building. How you doing?
Tay.
Yes, indeed.
Hey.
Richard always says, who is KK, Richard? Because you always speak out about that person. Who is that?
Tay
She been on.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she just been a long time viewer,
supporter. I just be
supporter. There you go.
That's all. I just be cock blocking their mind.
The fact that another viewer notices her. So I mean, I'm just saying I'm good. Yeah. So I just know you always kick her out.
Yeah, I do. I try and support the women. Because they're
That's
important.
cool.
I even had a post about the women and that are married to dog guys or girlfriends and all that. And got a lot of good responses. But I just respect, I respect women. I was raised by women,
Before we get on, I want to give since you just said that, and it was just nothing. But you know what? I want to give respect to a woman that. Two women, but one I can't think of their name, and I want you guys to help me out because it's a big shout out to her. She's got like the biggest,
Is it King?
Kink will be next.
Okay,
but no, Kink is definitely the other one, but the one first is she's got like the biggest library. Richard, you'll know what I'm talking about. Of dog photos.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Man, I forgot her name. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. It's not Chrissy. It's what's her name?
Valerie?
No.
She
got like the biggest library of pictures.
She does. She does. Yeah.
And I used to go on her
Say,
page.
somebody in the chat said Vicky. Is
No,
it
not
Vicky?
Vicky. It's no. She's
Not
on the
Vicky.
group too.
Yeah,
Her
Vicky.
dad was an
it's gonna be
old dog, man.
embarrassing if you can't think of her name. Because she's
Yeah.
been doing this for 20 years.
Yep. Yep.
Dude, it's gonna be embarrassing if we can't think of her name.
Well, that's
Yeah,
all
I
right.
know.
Shout out to her, and we're gonna when they come back to us, we'll definitely show her some love. You know.
Yeah.
Is it Barbie?
Barbie. There you go. Yep. Barbie.
Okay.
That she's got the biggest collection of like dog memorabilia from like the 1700s. Right, Richard?
Yeah. 1700 to current. Current picture.
And she shares it on her page for everybody. The grand champions, the champions, the everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
And she puts a lot of work into that. For everybody using their magazines for all of that. So
yeah.
What is it, Barbie? What?
I forget her last name, but it's Barbie.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Also, shout out to King Jones. Since she already put it there. Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go guys.
Salute to the ladies in of the Bulldog world, most definitely.
There you go.
All right, so salute to the chat, everybody in the chat. I see you in here, live life real. Everybody I missed, thank y'all for joining. Everybody in the building. All right, let's get to the first question. We had a lot of questions. A few of these questions are questions that I forgot to ask. People have been asking me to ask every week, and I keep forgetting. So make sure I put them first. One is this one here is a question from Schoolboy. How do you measure success with breedings? You want to start that one off, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah. The way I measured it was, if you want to put it this way on percentages, and what I did is, or what anybody does, you make your breedings, right? And I followed the ones that had a higher percentage, and at least 50% of the litter turned out or better. Sometimes it was better, sometimes it was less. And not that I didn't make those breedings with the ones that had less percentages, but the ones that showed me to follow that were more productive and continued that higher percentage were the ones that were at least 50% of the dogs turned out, or more, hopefully more. And over time, over generations, I kept following that pattern. Some litters might have 1 or 2 dogs in them, and they may be on the same level as the ones that had a higher percentage, but the ones that had a higher percentage produce more consistently. Some people will run with and continue for all kinds of reasons with litters that have maybe one good one, champion, could even be a grand champion in it, but what it showed me was, if you stick with the ones that have more consistency in them, you'll continue that as you keep going on with your breedings, future generations. Your percentages will stay up and they should get better. Whereas, I've said this before, rather than having 2 good dogs in the litter and culling 6, you'll get to the point where you got 6 good ones and only be culling 2. And that's just a little tip. Some people don't go with that. They just, whatever good dogs they get, they breed them. That can work too, but the percentages don't seem to be as high. The quality overall doesn't seem to be as good. That's my experience.
Yes, sir. Salute to Mr. J-Dub 20 Texas in the super chat. Appreciate the support, fam. Salute to you. Let me see here. Let's go to the brother Roscoe on this one.
Whoa. No rock. Don't use my government name.
Okay, you switched it up. I mean, you had it up there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, dude. I thought you would catch that and not say that, but anyway.
Lil Rock,
you can edit that on the next
yeah. Lil Rock, how do you measure success with breedings?
Well, you know what? Today, guys breed dogs, and you can catch one and you can miss one, or you can catch one and you can miss one. the success to me with breedings is when you put a line together, and it's got to be line. When you line breed a line, that's your line. Now, hold on, you can be successful regardless. Once you breed a dog, once you make a breeding, it's your breeding. But I think at least give it 1 or 2 generations. Success with breedings is when you say success with breedings, I'm taking it as this is my stuff. And I would like to say that any breeding you make is yours. Any breeding you make, once you make that breeding, is yours. So success with breeding is breeding what is yours, and not only also don't give it away and don't sell it all. Make sure they turn out. They're good dogs, and if you want to sell something, you can sell some, but make sure they turn out and they're good dogs. I mean, I think that's succeeding, and I mean, that's it.
Right. Okay. Welcome down, Ram. Big Steppin'. What's your take on that, man? How do you measure success when breeding?
I got a little bit different take because I guess I'll call it being spoiled in the game, always getting my hands on some good dogs. So if I breed you, and like I only breed like when I was breeding, I would only breed my champions. Like so I've never had, 1-time winner shits like that. So my standard was when I breed you, at least gotta be one champion in the litter. And if it's not, then I'll consider that a total failure. Well, luckily for me though, I got to stick with that and they would throw me at least a champion in each litter.
Okay.
So that's how I base my shit. If you a champion, you throw me a champion. If not, your producing record is trash to me.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Now, I would, because I mean, Brother Ram, he sent me all his pedigrees, and I've seen the stuff that he's had in the past, and he's still by that 1,000. I've seen his breedings, and because I want to look back on what we could have done back in the day. We don't do anything now. Don't
Right.
ever get it twisted. But I looked at some of his stuff, and I gotta admit, God dang, what are you doing? But I mean, he's gotta breed, like, because I mean, he's the only guy that, and I mean, I knew the cameras, I knew, of course, everybody knows for Boudreaux. He's able to really take like a without line breeding, because I don't think you don't do that at all. From what I see, nope. He just breeds beast to beast.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you telling the goddamn truth. You see, like all my shit that was 1 and 2-time winners, I didn't breed them.
Yeah.
Zero offspring on that shit. Unless I gave them to somebody.
That's another thing. That's another thing that I was telling people about back in the day. Just because your dog may be a winner or something like that, don't make them a breeder. And far-fetched to believe that if a dog is what they call a brood bitch, that is a brood bitch is a dog that produces dogs that wins.
Correct.
And Ram ain't breeding none of that. He's gonna breed the best of the best, and that's what you're gonna get. He sent me his pedigrees. I saw what he's breeding. I thought that was crazy, but he's winning. He was winning back in the day. You
Right.
feel me?
Absolutely.
Thank you for the kind words, sir. A lot of people be thinking I be capping when I say that because they would, but my standard was so high. I don't give a fuck if you won 1 or 2. You didn't live up to my standard.
Yeah,
So I
right.
wouldn't breed you.
But it wasn't back in we were looking back in the future when I called you out, but it didn't work. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
Stephen L. the Mac. Salute to Stephen L. the Mac in the
My
super
man.
chat. Much love, much appreciation, Stephen L. the Mac. Salute for the support, man. All right. Another question we got is, does working a dog on a spring pole damage its teeth or make them weak? We'll start with you, Mr. Garcia.
Not generally. It can if they're not they're not healthy in the first place. I've never had it happen. You know, I would say if it does, it's because you know, they ain't healthy. You know, they got weak teeth. You know, sometimes you get destructive dogs, and they'll chew their house, or they'll chew their chain, or chew anything, and they will chip their teeth or break tips off, or even bust whole cutters. You know, but on a spring pole, if you're using a hide or a rope or Levi's or whatever, I've never seen it happen. You know, and you know, maybe if they're real young when you started on them, you know, and you do too much work because the teeth ain't set in their head, you know, that could cause a problem. But as far as me, you know, I usually didn't introduce them till the spring pole till they were after a year old. And I just use it as an exercise too. I didn't use it in keep. You know, I did on a couple of them because, you know, they wouldn't do other things, you know, but I didn't, you know, a lot of people use it in keep. I didn't, I got to the point where I didn't, it wasn't necessary. But when I did, whether exercising or the couple that I did in keep, I didn't hurt their teeth.
Right. Okay. Let's go to you, Ram. What's your take on that?
I gotta agree with OG Mr. Garcia, and I add the only way I have seen injured teeth was if the hide was too close to the actual spring itself, and you didn't have like any type of plastic buffer in between it, and the dog could grab that. But other than that, if they just genetically got weak ass teeth, then nah, it ain't gonna fuck their teeth up at all. And if it is, you know, dulling their teeth or chipping them or breaking them, you know, you might want to look into what's making the dog's teeth weak and see if it's a genetic lineary issue or if it's something wrong with the dog. You know, he might have right mouth or something like that developing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tay, do me a favor and block that dude, the troll that's in here. Roscoe, I'm sorry, brother. Lil Rock, what's your
Boy, you killing me.
I know,
killing me.
my bad, brother.
What are you doing?
Lil Rock, what's your take on that spring pole in teeth?
Dude, I've never found a problem with that. As long as you feed them healthy as pups. We used to bring dogs on the spring pole, or well, we started them out with the flirt pole. I think everybody did the flirt pole before they did the spring pole. We put them on the flirt pole, just have them run around, this, that, another, trying to catch it, and then we would get them on the spring pole. But you really once if you're doing your vitamins and your feed right, there was nothing wrong with doing that or losing teeth or anything like that, in my opinion.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, one more thing, Bach brought it up a while back, and just a tip as a reminder to people is what helps with their teeth and their bones and all that is using goat milk. So if you want to add some goat milk,
I saw it the other day that whole interview. What was that interview? What interview was that? Like 60? What was that?
I forget.
Yeah, but I watched that the other night.
Yeah,
I really did. Yeah.
I didn't want to mention it, but he did, so then I followed up on it. You know, yeah. You know what, I want my dog's teeth stronger than your teeth. You know.
Right, but I mean, he does. But you know, Bakary, who's not with us right now, but you got everybody right here, dude. That guy is very, very, very intuitive.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, got a lot of experience.
Yeah,
that's why he's on the show.
Well, why am I here? Because I'm not. No.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we know Little Rock. I don't know about that other guy they keep talking about, but I know who Little Rock is.
Yeah, Little Rock is on it.
I try to be humble. Don't shoot me all the way down. I just try to
be
Okay. All right. Next question we have is, how do I get my female to calm down? He says she's a rescue dog. He said the dog was malnutrition and starving and stuff like that, mistreated. He said, but now that he got her back healthy, she's real aggressive towards humans, growling and things like that. And she's 5 months old. He's trying to get the dog to calm down. So what would you guys recommend? I'm gonna start with you, Ram, on this one because I know you got experience with training dogs. What's your take on that?
Well, shit. For one, you know, try to feed her when y'all eating dinner, you know. That way she don't gotta worry about nobody getting aggressive if she food aggressive and people aggressive, because she'll be, you know, preoccupied with something else other than trying to bite a motherfucker. For two, shit, just start socialize her more. Just bring her out, you know, when the kids get out of school, all that, have her up there, all that good old shit, waiting at the school bus or when they outside playing, walk her, just, you know, let her get used to the sounds and the people. She don't speak English, but you still got to convey to the dog that everybody is not a threat, you know. But she could just be a fucking vicious man biter too. You just got to deal with it. Sometimes that shit pops up.
What?
You never know. That
Right.
could be why she was a rescue. It probably was a vicious little puppy. Motherfucker, like, shit, I'm scared to feed that motherfucker, man. You come get him, you know. But yeah, I would just, you know, more socializing and try that food tip I mentioned at first. Feed her when everybody else is eating. That way she preoccupied and still in a social setting, you know, with people around talking and enjoying each other's company. Let her be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if that shit don't work and she still just like that color, you don't fucking, you know, gotta be around no vicious dog if that's not the type of dog you want.
Indeed. Mr. Garcia, what's your take?
Yeah, what Ram mentioned, that's a good tip. Food is a great uh, equalizer, if you want to put it that way. And I've used it in a lot of different ways with aggressive dogs and shy dogs and hyper dogs. And you know, one example would be the neighbor. I lived next door to a neighbor who had a human aggressive dog. You know, he would prowl at you through the fence and try and attack you through the fence. So what I started doing, I just started tossing pieces of hot dog over the side, you know, and it eventually got to where he would come up, you know, and expect that hot dog, and I just toss it. So we were out front one day, and the neighbor comes out, and the dog ran past him, and he said, "Richard, run! The dog bites." I just stood there because I already knew. He walked up to me, and I petted him. He couldn't believe it, you know. He couldn't understand. He didn't know I was doing that in the first place, but he didn't know that you know, I had been doing that, and the dog wasn't aggressive. But
Right.
you know, if you're on your own yard, what you can do, and they do this with birds and dogs too, with roosters. You know, you have them in a pen, you have them in a kennel, or you have them on their chain. You know, have a pocket with some kibble in it, or even little pieces of meat. And when you walk by, you just toss them a piece of kibble. You walk up to them, if they're aggressive, you toss them the kibble. Keep walking. Don't even acknowledge them.
Right.
You do that repeatedly over and over again, and they learn to trust you, and you're there not to cause them any harm. You're not intimidating. They looking forward to you doing something nice to them, you know. And eventually they'll just, you know, you keep doing that over and over, and when they stop that aggression, then maybe you can go up and pet them. Maybe, you know, sometimes they see you as a threat. Sometimes it's out of fear or over food. And if it's over food and you're giving them that food, like Ram said, you know, if you're feeding the dog when you're eating, everybody eat, and the dog kind of gets in their head that, you know, nobody's a threat to my food. They're eating their food. I'm eating my food. They ain't no threat. They ain't going to take my food. If they're just human aggressive, that's kind of a way to get in their head that you're not a threat. You're not the one that I should be fighting because you're giving me a treat. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with your family. I've done that with different dogs, especially skittish ones. You know, they don't like to be handled. They're afraid of you. They eventually look forward to that treat, and then you can get closer and start petting them and holding them. You know, you could hold them and pet them and give them a piece of kibble, you know, while you're holding them. It's just looking forward in their mind to that treat, and they have that bond with you where you're not a threat. You're not going to hurt them. They don't trip, and they're going to get something good out of it.
Right.
If that don't work, something like that don't work, you know, then like Ram said too, just call them, man. They're a liability, and I stress this over and over, especially if you got kids. Not worth it, man. There's all kinds of dogs. You can get another dog. Don't matter how it's bred or who gave it to you or who bred it or if it's your favorite dog. If they're that way, it's not worth the liability.
Indeed. Indeed. Lil Rock, what's your take on this situation with this aggressive puppy?
I've made the mistake of giving away a few, and that turned out like really well. I think that uh, if you said aggressive puppy, right?
Yeah, it's 5 months. He's 5 months.
Dude, you just gotta take the dog out there. You gotta walk around with the family. You got to let them know what they can do and what they can't do. And I mean, you have to be a strong. In this breed, you have to be a strong person. Period. No, this ain't no punk breed. This ain't no punk breed. You break him. If you don't take it, you get rid of him. But I mean, you have to man up in this breed. There's no doubt about it. You have to man up in this breed. If you see that he's not gonna, if he's got, let me say it like this: if he's got ways that are one way that you can judge him, and then some way he might be different. Dude, I like you breed these dogs to be stern and to be what you want. You don't breed them to be flip floppy, or they're gonna be this way one day and another way the another day. We breed these dogs to be game and to be firm. This flip flop image of a pit bull is what gets people killed. So we got to be firm on what we breed, and we just got to be firm on it. A dog that bites a person, I could breed one and I could like one if I had the area that was like outside of, like, if I had 10 or 15 acres, but I couldn't do it if I only had like an acre, or I was living here in Port of Spain, Trinidad, where I got all my neighbors, or if I was living in Nashville, you couldn't do that. So my thing about biting dogs or dogs that are insecure, if you got the room for them, keep them, because it doesn't have anything to do with gameness. Nothing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
One other thing,
Mhm.
what Little Rock mentioned, it's okay to be firm with the dog. It's okay. I'm not talking about cruel, but it ain't gonna hurt them. A lot of people think it's gonna mess with their head or something. You show authority like that. If the dog understands it, he's gonna be okay afterwards. If you firm with them, ain't gonna hurt them. They
Hey,
build
Richard.
tough. Yeah.
Hey, Richard. Let me say this. Champion Turtle, Champion Tommy, a lot of champion dogs out there. I mean, they were really like they weren't really people aggressive, but if you took them out, now I'm sure you're gonna pick this up, and a lot of guys ain't gonna pick up off of this. Ram will probably pick it up. Ram will probably pick up off of this. Like when you walk them, and they're like, it might be some kids outside playing, or something that's exciting, and they just start biting your freaking arm. Or they just started bite. I mean, they just turn to bite you. They're not trying to hurt you. They just want to put their mouth on something.
Yeah, they get worked up.
Right. So my way of connect was my buddy Darren Tupper. Darren Tupper told me, he said, "Man, put a little deflated ball in their mouth, and they can walk around with that ball in their mouth. So they always got something in their mouth that they can shake, they can move." Does that make sense?
Yep. Well, they communicate a lot with their mouth. That's all.
Right. So when you got a dog that you're walking, and good gracious, I mean, they're gonna always want to put their mouth on something. Sometimes it's you, but if you got a ball that you can put in their mouth, that made a world of difference, and it also made them happy on the meal. When they're running the meal, put a ball in their mouth when they're running the meal. A lot of dogs are happy with a ball in their mouth when they're running the meal.
True.
Indeed. Salute to Powerhouse Watson in the super chat. Appreciate the support, man. He says, "Can an old Irish red throw gray/blue dogs?" I have no idea What's your take on that, Ram?
Maybe if you bred it to something that was either that color or a black nose, but being that the old Irish red, the red in it is a recessive trait. You know, if you bred it to another old Irish family red nosed dog, then no. The darkest color you would get would be like a liver color. Just genetically speaking, that's impossible if you were to breed two of them together. Now, if you bred it to a black nosed dog or something else, then yeah, it'd happen. But if you just kept it breeding along those lines in the family, no, there's something else in the mix that somebody ain't telling you if it is something out there bro, like that.
Boy, take you to tell it like it is, boy, Ram.
I got to. That's
But
genetic.
that's real
You
though.
can't teach genetics. Yeah.
I mean, it can come up, but it can't come up consistently.
Okay. What's your take, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, that blue-gray color, gray-blue seal, it's a derivative of black and brown. That's where it comes from. So if they took that old Irish red, bred it to an Eli dog or a Bully Son dog or just a black dog, you know, there's a chance that it could come out, you know, that color. But that's you know, like Ram was saying, you have to breed it to something that has that potential to throw that gray blue color. You're not going to get it from a two red-nosed dogs. You know, yeah. You're not going to get it from a two red-nosed dog. It's almost impossible to get a black-nosed dog breeding two red-nosed dogs.
Let me say this. Hold on. I remember, you know, we got all you remember where I came from. Is we got a bunch of our dogs from Don Mayfield, and you know, I had some Henfield lines and Rises Maximilian, but I didn't mix them till like way back. But our Mayfield dogs turned red, and our Art dogs, they all turn red. Which I want to say, our Art dogs, our Eli Junior dogs, all turn red. And I know, Richard, you know why. So let me let you finish this up.
Well, I know what I heard, you know, but I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm not going to comment on it.
Oh man, I mean, you know as well as I do. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's just give it a shot.
I'll say this: I've seen inbred dogs of different colors, and they'll come out red. You know, the Mayfield dogs, you know, they're red because they're heavily inbred DIBO dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say that.
But when you see a lion, and this is a mistake you might say I made, or when I see a lion that gets that really pretty, it's like that, it's like an orangish red with a black mask. I'm like, because I mean, I make this mistake just like anybody else, or maybe it's not a mistake. I'm like, dude, that is true to that lion. Everybody gets crazy about it.
Right. Let me see here. Can the panel explain how to work a dog on the carpet mill? The difference between the carpet mill and slat. Ram, what's your take on it, bro?
I don't really use the carpet mill no more because I like to do more natural pull weight with the dog. But when I did have a carpet mill, I had a COLBY carpet mill, and that shit was smooth as a slat mill, you know? So again, I was kind of spoiled on that shit. I could loosen the belt and that shit'll run damn near just like my slat mill, my fucking Red River Curly I had at the time. Or I could tighten it up and it'd be the hardest pulling shit ever, you know? That's what I used it for, though. I would just use it not for wind or recovery, but just for muscle building without, you know, weight pulling, more of a calisthenic workout. But yeah, just use it for that, you know. But one thing I will say, I did time them on it like I would with my slat mill, so I would let them burn out on there. And I was explaining to Mr. Garcia earlier how I did it. You can find it in our book when we drop it because I don't feel like explaining it all right now. But yeah, that's how I used it.
Yes, indeed. What's your take on that, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, it's making a resurgence with a lot of dog guys now, from what I hear, because you know, they don't. A lot of them don't have an area where they can pull weights or do the baiting like I used to do. So it's used to build strength because of that drag and because they can dig in a little bit into the carpet with that with their feet, you know. And they were more popular back in the day. In fact, you know, more people used carpet mills than they did slat mills. The slat mills have always been around since, you know, Sears and Roebuck had them in, you know, 1890s or something. You know, they used to have it in their catalog, and they used the mills for dogs to run washing machines and churn butter and all kinds of stuff. And again, it's it was developed for inner city, you know what I mean? People that didn't have a lot of room to run their dogs. That's what the dog men used it for when the mills came out. You know, people that lived in the city didn't have a lot of room or didn't have the space to go out and work their dogs. Then the carpet mill became more popular than the slat mill, and it dropped off when the slat mill became more popular with the help of Robert Lamb, you know, his keep. But now it's kind of making a resurgence for the same reason. They don't have the space to go out and build strength a different way with their dogs, you know, other than maybe a tug of war or spring pole. So it's generally used for that, you know, to build strength. And there are some like that, you know, that Red River Curly mill that Ram mentioned. That was a real popular mill. They were well made, durable. You could take the slack up or tighten it up, whatever. You know, it was adjustable that way.
Right.
But that's basically what the people that I know that use it. That's what they use it for, is to build some strength.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Lil Rock, what's your take on carpet mills?
My take on carpet mills is I'm gonna kill these guys right here that's working on my car. They done jacked it off. They're trying to run up the. Look at this. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, go ahead, let it
Oh
work.
God, I'm gonna have to buy a new car. But anyway, my idea on carpet mills is, you know, you use them for strength. I've only used one time, and it was just pretty much I just used them for fun. As far as conditioning, I just never knew how to use one. I just can say I just never really actually knew how to use one. We always had a meal that, and we didn't use that much. But I gotta say, carpet mills. My man Ricky Goodson, who's a good friend of mine, he sent me a carpet mill, and he's probably the best carpet mill maker. But I had it, but I just didn't use it.
Okay. Right. Let me get to the super chat. Salute to Powerhouse.
Hold on, let me say this: anybody who wants a good carpet mill, go to Ricky Goodson, because he makes the best of them. But this wasn't my thing.
Right. Okay. Salute to Powerhouse Watson back in that super chat. He says, have you ever mixed Red and Eli? Is it a good or bad idea? JOCKO and Eli. I guess he's talking about Eli and JOCKO crosses. Anybody on the panel ever dealt with those crosses?
Hell yeah. We took a son of our champion Hanky and bred it to a daughter of our champion Old Dog. Got some motherfucking bulldogs. Oh, hell yeah. Do that shit. If you can, just try to keep everything, you know, and go through it.
Yes, indeed. All right. So let me get to salute to you, Powerhouse Watson. And now let me get to this other super chat. Smooth Monty in the super chat. Appreciate the support, fam. Says spray WD-40 under the carpet to get it to run like a slat mill. Salute to you, Smooth Monty. All right.
Thank you for that tip.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That last question, my buddy took a son of Skull. He was Skull, JOCKO, or REDBOY JOCKO, and then he bred it to my stuff. So yeah, it works.
Okay. Good
you can
stuff.
do the Eli JOCKO REDBOY stuff.
Hell
Okay.
yeah, yeah. There's a couple champions I could think of bred like that. Now I think about it, yeah, hell yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good cross. If it click, but
yeah,
everything don't line up. What worked for us might not work for you, but that don't mean it don't work.
that's
Mm-hmm.
true.
All right. Next question is, how do you know you hit the mark with your keep or you missed the mark with your keep? How good was your conditioning really? Mr. Garcia, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the work and recovery time. I mentioned it before. Just it came up, so he asked me, so I can talk a little bit about it again. When you work
Mm-hmm.
your dogs, they're gonna. You start off in the keep early in the keep. They're gonna hit a spot where they run hot a little bit. Not run hot, but they start breathing heavy. Keep working them. They'll pace themselves. They'll recuperate. At the end of the keep, when you're done with the keep, you're gonna walk them out. And it's gonna take them a certain amount of time to cool down, where they get their breathing back to normal. If you hit the mark with your keep, when you later on in the keep, say it's an 8-week keep by week 6, 7, like that, when you take them out, they're going to hit that hot spot in the beginning. It's going to take them long. From the beginning, it might have took them 15 minutes. At the end of the keep, it might take them 30 minutes. And when you finish the workout and you do the cool down, it might have took them 5 minutes to cool down. When you're done, it might take them 30 seconds. That's one tell that your conditioning works. And the other part, how do you tell you messed up? The opposite of that. You work, you work them. It takes them longer to. It takes them a shorter time, or the time for them to run hot in the beginning. It doesn't increase. It may shorten up. And at the end of the workout, when you go walk them out, it might take them 30 seconds. It might take them 5 or 10 minutes to cool down. You missed it. You either passed it. You're not giving them enough rest, and your dog may seem lethargic or tired or like that. Bach
Right.
brought up a good point, which is, as far as how can you tell your keep works? One way to do it is go through a keep, and you keep all the notes. And if it's a successful keep, when you do another dog, you reflect back to those notes. You refer to the notes. Do the same thing over. So he's basically saying you got to do it at least one time to see if it works, and if it does, you repeat it.
Right.
And one of the points of the whole question was, if you don't see the results of that keep, you may think your dog's in good shape, but that doesn't mean it is. And if you want to practice a keep, what you can do is run them through a keep, and you do the whole keep just like the way I did it. You build them up slow, work them up. The week before what would be the show, that's going to be their hardest workout. Then I taper down on the work. Last 2 or 3 days, you rest them. You don't do any work. Take them through that process, and then what would be the show day, run the hell out of them, work the hell out of them, burn them up, and see that process of how long it takes them to run hot and how they recoup on the fly and how long it takes for them to recoup after that workout. So if you're doing mill work and flirt pole, and you're doing, weights and tug of war, spring pole, flirt pole, you do everything that you can for as long as you can with that dog on that pretend show day, and see what the results are. See how he goes through it.
Right.
You can't do it in like we used to do in the past. You can't match the dog. You can't roll him. You can't do none of that. But it'll give you some kind of idea if you run through that keep and then burn the hell out of them, work the hell out of them, and see where the dog's at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good stuff. Good stuff. Walking down Ram, what's your take on it, brother?
Shit, I could tell if I did good is if I fucking won and I fucking was still in shape. I'm still standing on my feet. I knew my shit worked. And the times I lost it, it fucking was hardly ever to conditioning. They was just flat out curves. But I fucked up on some keeps before too, and it showed in my losses. That's how I would judge if I was on or if I was off. You know, that's the best I
Yeah.
could give you, man.
Yeah.
I kept my shit simple, cut and dry, and to the point when I was doing it. Either you gonna do this or you gonna do that. You know, I
Yes,
wasn't
sir.
as intricate as Mr. Garcia was with it. I was like, shit, this motherfucker quit because he was out of shape. That was my bad. I go back over the notes and see where I fucked up at. And sure
Yeah.
enough, I bullshitted one day here, was fucking tired from work 2 days here, you know, and it shows. That's the importance of writing everything down. But yeah, that's how I was able to tell if I was on the mark or not. I fucking win in shape or I lose out of shape.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of times it does come down to how good your conditioning is. You might have a good dog, and if you mess it up, he's not a good dog no more. You know that
Yep.
that uh,
You can fuck it up.
that
You can
that
fuck
you
up a
know
good dog. Like, that's
you
the
can
true sentiment.
you can. I'll say this too. When I was on point, I knew it. I was a little bit off, I knew it. If I was way off, I knew it. And sometimes knowing all that stuff back in the day, you still gonna go through with it because you're hoping the dog will make up for it. You're hoping maybe your opponent didn't get it right either. You're hoping this and that. But the best hope you can have is when you get it right, you know your dog's ready, he's peaked, he's rested, he's focused, and then it's not your fault if something goes south. You know, you did your job, the dog's gonna do his, and you're good to go. Win, lose. I don't say draw because I didn't have no draws.
yes, sir. Salute to Thomas Morris in the super chat. Appreciate the support, fam. He says, salute to the panel. Have any of you ever ruined a dog due to errors? Let me start with Lil Rock on that question. Lil Rock, he got a connection issue. Ram, have you ever ruined a dog due to errors?
Yeah, hell yeah. I done started them up too early. I done put too much on them too soon. Then overworked them, then underworked them. And fucking everything you could do to fuck up, I done did it. That's how you get good, though. You know, you learn from those mistakes. So hell yeah. And if anybody tell you different, they'll fucking lie. Or they ain't got enough dogs yet.
All right. Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. You know, the like I just mentioned, you know, part of the learning too is know when you got it right and when you don't. That'll help you a lot. It'll help you make decisions. But yeah, you're gonna ruin dogs. Same thing. Start them too young. You know, you start them too young. You know, I'm talking back in the day, of course. You know, you're gonna lose teeth, or you're gonna mess up their joints or their ligaments or something. You know, you're gonna do damage to their muscle where they can't recover from it. You know, you might lose toes and all kinds of stuff. You know, because part of the maturity is not just physical; it's mental too. You know, and
Right.
he's right. If you're gonna make mistakes, you have to recognize that. Then you have to accept it, and then you got to figure out what you're gonna do about it. Don't repeat them. You know, that's the whole thing about anything you're involved in, whether it's dogs or anything else. There's a learning process. Even if you got somebody there standing with you or somebody on the phone you call, he did this, he did that, I did this and that. You still got to have hands on and go through the process yourself so that you know for yourself, in yourself, what works and what don't. A lot of times you don't even have to know why it works, which, you know, it's good if you do. But you see the end result, you know that what you did works, and you keep repeating that. You can figure out all the science and all that other bullshit later, and you can gain knowledge that way. But first and foremost, you got to go through it. And if you ain't learning from your mistakes, then you know you're gonna hit a brick wall every time. You can't troubleshoot. You can't change up. You can't adjust. So pretty much, you know, that's kind of long-winded, but Ram hit it on the mark when he spoke.
Indeed. Raider Time. Salute to the homie Raider Time in the super chat. Much love, much appreciation. Raider Time. Say salute. Salute to you, fam. And salute to Mr. Gumbo in the super chat. Much love for the
Mr.
support,
Gumbo.
bro. He says, salute, General. He said the legend, Schoolboy, Big Ram, Lil Rock, and the chat says hashtag LDBC driving and listening. Salute to you, bro.
Respect.
Yes, indeed. All right.
He's a great supporter, man. I don't know him,
Mr.
but I
Gumbo.
like him.
Yeah, Mr. Gumbo, that's my man, 100 grand. Yeah. Let me see what we got here.
Salute, Mr. Gumbo. That's the homie.
Yes, sir. AI, artificial insemination versus natural breedings. What's the panel's preference and why? Mr. Garcia, I think I know your answer to this, but go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, I had trouble early on breeding because my dog was so aggressive. Male, female, didn't matter. So that was a lifesaver for me. I missed some breedings because, you know, and most people will tell you I can get a dog to breed, and they can't. There's different kinds of methods. We can get into that later, how they did it. And I've done that too. Takes patience, takes time, takes some wrestling sometimes to do it, you know. But once I learned how to do my own artificial insemination, it made it so much easier. There's not a difference in the quality of the dogs or numbers or whatever. I've gotten 11 pups out of 3 cc's of semen.
Wow.
So it has nothing to do with that, you know. It doesn't have to be a sterile environment. It should be clean, and your utensils that you're using, they could be sterile. That's okay, but as long as you're a clean environment, you know. I did all my stuff inside the house. You know, I would have female in one room, the male in another room, so they can't see each other. You know, I'd wipe the females back in, you know, with a tissue or something, put it up to the male. He would smell it, get excited. I collect the sperm. And I'll say this: anybody wants, you know, I have a little write up on how the procedure was that I did. Somebody wants it, you can email me or message me or something. I'll PDF it to you or whatever it's called. I don't even know, but it's a little article I wrote. It's easy. Some people, they get weird about doing it, you know, because you got to touch the dog and stuff. But you know, it ain't personal. It's just an option. And it was an option for me. Like I said, no hassle, 10 minutes, they're done. I don't have to wrestle with my dog because they, like I said, male or female, and they did not care. They didn't care if, you know, a lot of times dogs are raised together, you know, they get along. And I could do that too, but at a certain age, they ain't going to like each other. I roll, you know, brother against brother, daddy against son, mother against daughter, sister, cousin, uncle, niece, whatever, you know. I didn't mix male and female when I used my dogs like that. But a lot of people don't like to do that with family or with their own dog sometimes. You know, I guess it could mess with the dog's head, but mine were not like that. So it was a good tool for me to use. I preferred it, actually. It's a lot faster. I don't have to wait for them to stay tied up, you know, until they're done being tied up. You get that, past that over in your head, you just do it. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah, indeed.
Now,
Lil Rock, can you hear?
yeah, we're in the hood having a little dispute on while they're working on my car.
Okay, well, if you gotta go, it's all good.
No, we're good now.
Okay. Yeah. What do you prefer, artificial insemination or the traditional breeding?
Me, dude, I've done. Once I learned artificial insemination, of course, traditional breeding, 1,000%, 1,000%. But once I finally learned artificial insemination, the litters were small. I mean, dude, you never want to do it unless you have to. And if you got frozen semen, of course, it's going to be artificially. I mean, I even had a big question that came up like 5 or 6 years ago, which became popular. How many champions came up for artificial insemination? Because first off, I mean, the muscles, you know, if you're artificially inseminated, you're not going to be as good as the person that you were from the beginning. So my thing was, how many champions came off of it? And I found out there was a lot of them. But at the end of the day, the numbers were quite low, and I don't believe in artificial. If I'm doing anything, I want to do it. I want to do it all natural.
Okay. All right. Welcome down, Ram. Big Steppin'. What's your take on what's your preference for artificial insemination or natural breedings?
Well, I've never done the artificial insemination like OG Mr. Garcia did. The way he did it with 2 live dogs, it make a lot of sense, especially with 2 aggressive dogs. But the dogs I've done from cryogenically frozen breedings, them dogs, they came out pretty cool. They just was kind of like fucking drones. They really wasn't as loving, because we did a repeat breeding. We had the male, and we ended up breeding him, and then bred him back to his daughter naturally. And those dogs, they was more outgoing, more cool, more loving. Then once we sold the male, well, we wanted to repeat the breeding because we got a lot of good dogs off of that shit. So we used the one of the straw breedings we had off of them. Them dogs was like, but they wasn't as fun, you know. The motherfuckers was like goddamn Android dogs, man. They just wasn't as same kind of dog compared to the 2. Talent wise and all that, as far as for, you know, what they was bred to do, yeah, they was good as fuck at that, just like the first litter, but they just didn't have that spark that the motherfuckers was like robots, man. Like, you could just fucking go to hold them and shit, and then they just ready to scratch into anything. Like, goddamn, you fucking robot. I'm trying to take a picture with your stupid ass.
Yeah, their jury's still out on a lot of that, you know. Frozen semen versus natural breedings and like that, you know. I've heard, like Little Rock did, there's you know, been several champions and this and that and good dogs and all that, and then I heard the other end it didn't work, and that could just be that the breeding didn't work. Doesn't necessarily mean, but over time, hopefully, people will collect, you know, stats, keep records, you know, which is another reason I implore people, keep records, man, of every little thing you do if you can, you know. That way you'll have an honest opinion what your results are, because your memory don't work, and most people don't remember the bad shit anyway. They just talk about the good shit. That's why we talk about the same dogs over and over. They're the only ones that were good, you know.
Right.
You don't talk about the bad ones. You want to forget them. But it's good to keep a record of it, and hopefully with the artificial breeding, especially the frozen semen ones, you know, somebody will keep a record, and at least with their experience, they can tell what the pros and cons and what the plus and minus and what the results were.
Yes, sir. And Thomas Moore is back in the super chat. Appreciate you, man. He said best way to test gameness without, you know, rolling or your dogs or matching your dogs. That's a question that come up a lot. You want to take that one, Ram?
Try to go hog hunting with them. That's probably the closest shit I ever seen test a dog as far as combat would go. I tried going hog hunting a couple of times, and you know, if I had some curs, the motherfuckers would have been in the cur pile just the same. Them fucking hogs, them wild hogs, bring it to your dog, man, and you know, they'll fucking cut your dog and you, so you got to be careful. Other than that, man, it ain't no other real way other than, you know, the traditional way, and that shit is illegal these days. So fucking you gonna have to go out there and then fucking force and risk it. You know, you want to see if your shit game and if you game. And it ain't like you just get out the car and his hogs right there. Like I'd had to walk a couple miles up into that shit just to go find some. But you know, if that's what you want to see if your shit game, that's the only legal way to try it that I could fucking think of, bro.
Mm-hmm. And what's your take on that, Lil Rock? Would you agree with Ram?
Dude, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say is yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Schoolboy, what's your take on it?
What kind of setup crap was that?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, but
you nuts.
He good people. Go ahead.
Who asked that question?
Well, it comes up a lot. It does, even in my group. And
Come on, man.
yeah, you know,
Like,
people gonna hate me,
okay.
man. There ain't no other way. So you know, there ain't no, and for particular reasons, you know, if you were to pick one, yeah, what Ram said, that's true, because you know, a hog, most of them are bigger than the dogs, and they can do a lot of damage. I've seen hogs with 7-inch tusks, and they look blunt. They ain't blunt, believe me. They'll kill your dog. They'll kill you if they get a chance. But a hog is not a predator. A hog don't have that finishing instinct like a bulldog does. And I won't say it's close, but that would be the only way to do it. But in the traditional sense, there ain't no other way. There ain't. It just ain't. Bulldog is confrontational. It's one-on-one. And that's where you're going to see the gameness. And that is only gameness in pit bulls. Other breeds have their type of gameness. Hounds have their type. Racehorses, you know, the game fowl is similar to ours. Pigeons, I don't care if it's greyhounds, they have their type of gameness, which is specific to their breed. So if every breed has a specific way of displaying their gameness, there's only one way to do it with pit bull. And I'm not encouraging anybody to do that. That's just from a historical point of view. And that's just my opinion, which don't mean shit.
I hear you, Mr. Garcia. Salute to Mr. Gumbo in the super chat. Much love, much appreciation, man. He says the best way to see if your dog is game is to take her to see if she can take one of 78 sandwiches. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She ain't gonna be able to get one of my sandwiches.
There might be some validity to that, man.
Yeah. We're gonna be fighting over that sandwich now.
Yeah, we're gonna check for gameness today.
Let's see here. Can you have a successful keep with just hand walking and carpet mill or a slat mill? He said, or a slat mill a must. And hey, hold on, I think I read that wrong. He says, can you have a successful keep with just hand walking or in a carpet mill, or is slat mill a must? We'll start with you, Ram.
I mean, shit, you going into the top competition for just hand walking? No, I've yet to see that. Hand walking is important, but just only hand walking, I don't see where you would get the recovery from.
Yeah.
You'll have stamina and endurance like a motherfucker, but your recovering on your feet might take fucking, instead of like OG Garcia was alluding to earlier, instead of 30 seconds, this shit might take 5 minutes. You know, you might have to get your ass whooped for 5 minutes and be having to come back from behind with just a hand walk, you know, in the top competition. Now, if you just beating up the homies, you know, in your area, in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, you might could get away with that because it might not be a lot of top shelf dog men out there. But in the real world, in the fast lane, fuck no. But
Yeah, Ram. I think he means, can you do a keep with just hand walking and a carpet mill?
Oh,
Or do you need hand walking and carpet mill and a slat mill?
well,
Or hand
yeah.
walking?
If that's the case, then yeah, you could probably put one in decent shape. You know, I do my keep different than everybody else, and I use my mill a little bit different than everybody else. But I can see those two things, putting one in pretty good shape. You know, because you could kind of, depending on the slat mill, you could get some good recovery off of that.
Yeah, you got to get that heart rate up, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And unless you can run 24 miles an hour or whatever it is, it's hard to do that with hand walking.
Okay.
You can do road work. You know, you could run them like I did beside a bike, or you can, you know, a lot of people use an ATV or you know, alongside their vehicle. You know, they have apparatus so you don't run your dog over. I've seen people do that, you know. But you could get pretty good if you have hand walking and some type of mill. You know, the two mills are different. You know, except maybe in Ram's case where you could get it free spinning like that. You know.
Yeah, that was only with the COLBY mill though. If you ever,
right.
got the chance to see one or use one, you'll know, because I don't even think they make them no more.
Yeah, I seen one used. TL had one, an original Colby mill, and they do just like you said, Ram. They spin good. You know, I don't know what he did, but he knew what he was doing when he made it.
Yeah, and all of them was like that, man. Every one they produced was fucking like that.
Yeah. Hand walking's good. There's nothing wrong with it. You can't knock it, but again, the question is, can you get their heart rate up? You know, can you get them RPMs up? You know, it's real hard to do with just hand walking. So I've seen people just use, they don't even use hand walking. They just, like Bobby Smith, he just used a mill, basically. He would run them alongside a car sometime, but generally he was so big, he couldn't really do no hand walking, you know. He would just walk them to the end of his fence, you know, the end of his yard. They empty out, and he basically did all mill work. And there's people that say you can't do that. You got to do something else. You know, I don't knock anybody's method if it works. If it doesn't work, then you have an issue. You got to step up your game.
Yeah, for years, that's all I did was mill work. Carpet mill, slat mill, and a e-mill.
Yeah.
And fucking ran up champ after champ after champ, which is those three tools.
Yeah. Some of the best I know, that's what they use, exactly that. Slat mill, carpet mill, e-mill. You know, very they might walk them around the block or something, but not really a lot of, you know, the walk was just to empty them out, loosen them up, warm them up, you know, get them ready to do work. Yeah. People like, you know, like Danny Burton or Mr. Gray or Steve Hendricks, they just basically used a cat mill. You know, there wasn't even hardly no walk.
Right.
Anything else, just the cat mill.
What's your take on that, Lil Rock?
My take on it was there was always different levels of using mills. I mean, early back in my day, that I can talk about. You know, we did a lot of footwork. We did a lot of footwork, and you know,
breaking up a little bit there.
Can you see me? All right, okay.
Okay.
We didn't do a lot of. We didn't. I bought a meal for $75 from Don Reed, and we put a dog on the meal, but we weren't really that intellectual as far as the dog game is now. We weren't that intellectual. We'll run a dog on a meal for 20 minutes. You know, we'll do 10 miles, and it really turned out to be quite a good way of working dogs. We'll work a dog out. We'll take a dog and take him out for like 5 or 10 miles. But I won't even say 5, 10. But 5 miles in the morning, 10 miles in the evening. We'll put him on the treadmill, and we didn't even look at, you know, what we looked at when we first put him on the meal was if you had that foam coming out of the mouth. Can you hear me?
We hear you good.
That foam coming out of the mouth. And we want to make sure that we slowly slow that down. So we slowly slow that work down, because that's the fat that's coming out the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, all of that.
Right.
We will slowly work that work down till we got it going.
Right.
I mean, our conditioning was basically road work. We didn't. I mean, we thought the meal was cheating, but when we used it, it would let us know what we were at as far as. It would let us know as far as where we were at, as far as like I said, with foam coming out of the mouth. It really helped us out.
Endurance and stamina checker for you.
It really was. It really was, and it was a thing that let us know. Like, we knew when we were getting, and that was, to me, that was pre-keep work. That was pre-keep work.
Okay.
Because getting the lungs, the kidneys, the fat out of that was kidney work. I mean, that was pre-keep work. Once you got a dog out of that, then we went into real work.
Okay. Yes, sir. And Ram, I went to you already, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I heard
Next,
that.
next question is, um, if kennels. Oh, this is an interesting question. Guy says, if kennels are so confident in their dog's ability, then why are keeps such a prized possession? Um, he says, kennels claim they're they're seeking the best competition. Why not share the keep for the contest?
Let me take that first.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead,
go
Rock. Go
ahead.
ahead, Rock.
All right. All right. I remember I talked to my friend back in the day. He was my friend, Mac Nasty. And Mac Nasty told me, Mac Nasty told me that, you know, uh, when you're working, a dog is only, and I still believe this to this day. I know you've done some stuff and all that, but Mac Nasty told me your dog is only 40% of it. 60% of this game is your keep. And if you look at it from that premises and you work hard, and you can't just I asked one of my not my main mentor when I was coming up, which was Freddie Bolins, but I asked another guy who I was breeding with up until this day, up until about a year ago, um, and he said, "Well, my stuff is my mouth and what I got." And I don't believe that at all. Now, let me ask you one more question. What was the main question? So I can get back to it.
The main question was, why are keeps so secret, basically?
Keeps are secret because nobody wants to know how important the keep is. People back, well, they're not even secret now, but back in the day they were secret because nobody wanted to know. Everybody back in the day wanted to think it was the dog. It was the dog. But at the end of the day, if the dog is great and all the keeps are equal, the dog will win. But if you got a great keep, you can beat almost anybody. Now, if you got a good dog, you can beat a lot of people. But if you're going into what they call, which I don't like the name of it, called fast lane competition,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have that keep. Not only that, it's not only the keep. You got to have the style of the dog. You got to have everything when you go into fast lane competition. The keep, to me, is everything.
Yes, sir. All right. Mr. Garcia, what's your take on that? Why are keeps so secret?
I'll say this first. That people know this about me. I'm helpful. I'll help anybody. I was that way back in the day. I would help even if my opponent, if they asked for help. You know, and I might not give them my full keep, but I would tell people what I did, and I would tell up and coming. Once I knew what I was doing, I would tell youngsters. Give them tips to help. But to the question, the reason they're secret is for the same reason, football teams don't share their playbook. If you have a competitive nature, why are you going to share your so-called secrets with someone else? You're not, you're giving them information that they could use against you. That's why people don't give their keep out. Sometimes, a mentor, he helps a person and he gives them the keep and he says, you don't share this with anybody. I'm sharing it with you, but you can't share it with anybody. You have to keep your word on that, And my attitude was, well, they still have to beat me. They could have my keep, but they still got to be good enough to beat me. That doesn't mean they're going to do what I do. And even if I write it down word for word. On the other hand, I understand that if you're a competitive person, you're not going to share that kind of shit. You're not even going to share the feed. You're not going to tell nobody nothing. And amongst dogmen, yeah, we might talk about it back in the day and this and that. You may give little tips here and there, but you're not going to say nothing, man. In that respect, it don't make sense to help your opponent out. You know what I mean? And people, they would try and pressure these guys, well, you know what you're doing, you're the best, and you're this and that. How come you don't share it? Because I don't want to. You learn. If he was talking to Bert Sorrell, he didn't teach nobody nothing. He used to say, let him dig it out of the dirt like I did. I ain't helping you. Fuck you, That's being kind of harsh, but I understand that mindset. Like I said, professional teams, they ain't sharing their playbook. That would defeat the whole purpose. And that's the mindset of dog guys back in the day, Well, why am I going to help you to beat me? So that's why they keep them secret.
Indeed. Welcome down, Ram. Big stepping. Wait a minute. What's up, Lil Rock? You can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I want to say something about that, and I want to get Richard, and I want to get everybody on panel on board on this. I remember when I was first getting into the dog outside of Nashville, and we were doing dogs, man. We were trying to step out, and we were stepping outside our city, and going into St. Louis, and going into Arizona, and going into Jersey, and hey, what is it? Ohio. The thing was, I was trying to say was McNasty. He told me, he said, because I always thought that, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good.
Yeah, I always thought that the dog, and this is something I want us to cover. I always thought that the dog was 95% of this. I really thought the dog was 95% of this. And then as I got, and this is really important for our young viewers and everything, I thought the dog was 95%, but as I got into the game, and it was McNasty, and I think the Tennessee Mike Gregory, and even though he didn't like us, Mr. Kimmer, Ricky Jones, they taught me that dude is not. Yeah. But it wasn't being pulled down at first. But anyway, these mechanics talk to me. Anyway, I want to know what people think about the percentages of what it takes for a dog, the dog versus the conditioner. Now, the dog is a dog that bites and does all that. Now, the conditioner is not only the conditioner, I'll say the handler. The handler is the dog that handles the dog, conditions the dog, and lives with the dog. And not only this is a new thing that a lot of you guys are just now picking up on. When I say a handler can be the guy who lives in the house with a dog. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, we'll come right back to that. I don't want Ram to forget the first question. Ram, what's your take on the question about why it keeps so secret?
I look at it like this. If you gonna let me fuck your girl, but before I fuck your girl, you gotta
I
tell
knew it
me
was coming.
everything
I
she
knew it
like.
was.
How she like her pussy ate, and do she like it in the butt? You gotta tell me all that nasty shit so I can go in the room and do it to her. You let me do that, I'll give you my keep. That's how covenant I hold my keep. Cause there's a lot of information I got from other people who, like OG Garcia was saying, I promised them I wouldn't tell you motherfuckers, because they got it from somebody and they made that promise. And when it was their time to get out the game, they was on their last leg. They gave it to me, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And also, like OG Garcia was saying, man, get that shit out the fucking dirt like I did. Fuck you. Get out of here with that shit, man. I was so competitive. Even though I only got a puppy and an old dog, I still do this shit now. I go buy my mom some cheap dog food for her little wiener dog, some pedigree or some shit, dump it in the bucket over there, bring the bag back, and put my high quality food in there for when my partners come through, they don't get to see what I'm feeding. Yeah, I'm feeding these motherfuckers pedigree, busting y'all ass with the pedigree. That's just how competitive I am. No, I don't want you knowing shit. Fuck you.
Indeed,
There's nothing
indeed.
personal. That's just how it is, and I'm the
That's
same
how
with
it
the
is.
key. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like man,
that's how
I'll
it
give
is.
y'all
I've got
some game, but yeah, fuck
yeah,
that. I
yeah,
ain't telling y'all the whole
yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck no.
And if you're a competitor, you don't question that. You understand that because let's say somebody comes up and they learn their way, right? And they say, "Fuck you, you didn't want to help me. I had to learn my own." You ain't gonna give that shit out either because it was so hard to learn it. I've got tons of not tons, but I've got several keys from top guys, and they gave it to me because they know I like conditioning. And in this day and age, it's just information, knowledge that I like, but I don't share it because they asked me not to share it no matter what. I'm gonna take it to my death. I'm gonna have Danny Burton's keep in there. I'm gonna have Mr. Gray's keep in there. I'm gonna have OTK's keep in there. I ain't sharing it. Sorry. I'll help you with what I know and what I did. I don't have a problem with that. You know, now I'm retired anyway. It don't matter. And if it helps, that's great. That's what it's meant to do. If it don't, you know, that's okay too. You get it somewhere else.
Hey,
But
I not to cut you off, OG. I
that's
like
all
to
right.
add though, if Danny Burton, Mr. Gray, or anybody from OTK is listening, you can tell me, yo, keep.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's gonna cost. It's gonna cost you. There'll be a lot of zeros behind it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I already got them keys. It ain't that good. I already got them. Yeah, I got it from Robert Hoffman.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
That
let me go.
ain't nothing
I,
special about them.
I'm just saying what I seen with my eyes.
Yeah,
So
dude,
Yeah,
I
Little
got,
Rock just tried to throw me off the
uh,
trail of the good
Yeah.
keeps.
yeah.
I got like 37 keys from the best dogman in the world. I got like
Okay.
37
Okay.
keys from the best
Are you
dogman in the
sharing them?
world. And
Are you
some of them
sharing
don't
them?
work at all. Huh?
Are you sharing them?
Hey, if you want them, you can get them.
Yeah, you know I won't share it though. But would you share it with somebody and let them go share it? These people that gave you their key.
You know, if they ask me, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would. Yeah, no
Did
doubt.
any of them people ask you not to share it?
The ones that asked me not to, Robert Hoffman asked me not to share his keep. The ones
Yeah.
that asked me not to, I wouldn't. Of course, I
Okay.
wouldn't.
That's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't do that. You know, if they don't care, you know, like some people that give me
But
their
Robert
keep,
Hoffman keep ain't that good no way. So
I don't know. You know, I'm just saying I don't knock anybody who was as successful as the people I mentioned. You know what I
right.
mean? I'm not that way. I can't do that because then, and some of them, yeah, I did go into them. I did beat them. They beat me, this and that. But they have success. So whatever they do, that's why I don't disagree with what people feed or how they work their dogs. If they have a high level of success, there's no way I can argue the point.
Have you ever beat somebody with their own keep?
I didn't use theirs. I used mine. These keeps I'm talking about, I just want it for information, and they offered it to me.
That's all I wanted.
I was like, yeah, I just like looking at them. You know, I just like looking at them and see how they did things. You know, they're all retired, so it don't matter. But even still, they say, Richard, I'll give it to you. You know, don't share it. Okay, that's fine.
Right. When Ken Allen gave me his keep, I was like, "Are you kidding?" I mean, serious. I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Well, some of them, I know what you're saying because some of them, I look at it and I go, "Wow, that's what you did. That's all you did. This and that." Okay,
right.
Like I said, I can't argue with it. You know, it worked.
I was like, "Okay."
You know, give them different things. You know.
All right, let me read this super chat here. Salute to Meredith Campbell in the super chat. My brother, much love, much appreciation. Thank you for the support, man. He says, what it do, family? He says, had to come through with my ties. He says, salute to the brothers for all the knowledge and to Ram for answering my questions. Salute to you, Meredith Campbell. And salute to Big LT in the super chat. Appreciate the support, man. Said just showing love, OGs. Appreciate the support, man.
Guys.
Salute Meredith Campbell. That's the homie right there, man. That's a good brother. And
Yes,
you know, if
indeed.
y'all want to learn how to clear a house, room, shoot, roof, scoop, pull up all that good old gang shit, follow him on Gray Beast, man, on YouTube or on Instagram. You know, that's the guy right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Lil Rock, you had a question you want to ask the panel about percentages of how much is the dog and how much is the keep.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a big question that we went around, and when I was leaving the journal, Jack wouldn't post this, but I think it's very important. How much important is the keep or the dog? You guys give me you guys idea.
What would you say, Ram?
Well, I would say I have to agree with what he said. McNasty said at the 60%. Cause I'd have put some average dogs in shape and went and got on some fucking top shelf motherfuckers with their top shelf motherfucking dog ass and made them look real fucking stupid with some average shit, you know, some shit that if I wasn't being so goddamn arrogant at the time, I probably would have called. But in my mind, I was like, man, I'll fuck you up with some shit I would call and went out and did it, you know. So I would have to say, you know, my conditioning program would get that type of shit over the hump. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, it's 100% the dog because he the only one down there doing what he doing. But you know, if I'm in better shape than you, I could beat your ass. You know, your gas gonna run out before mine, and I brought enough dog to where he ain't gonna fucking pack it up just yet. So I'm gonna get on your ass. So I'd have to agree with the 60%. Now I could take a real good dog and put my fucking 60% on the keep, and that motherfucker gonna be looking like super dog around this bitch. You think he could fly in a minute, you know? But
All
yeah,
right.
that's just my take on the game.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your
So
take.
I'm
Yep,
running
pretty
slow,
much the
man.
same. You gotta have a good dog first. Whatever you consider a good dog, that's first and foremost. After that, the keep makes all the difference in the world. You got to have them in good condition. Now, when it comes to conditioning, how much improvement do you see or do you expect from your dog? You know, if people are saying, well, you know, dog and keep, they're 100% better, they might just be saying that to make a point. You know, in my experience, hell, if you can get them 10% better than they were off the chain, you're doing something because the dog naturally has a lot of ability. But to Little Rock's question, the keep makes all the difference in the world. It'll make you or break you. It'll bring you the win. It could get you the loss. Because if you look at it on the bottom end, totally bottom, if the dog ain't in good shape, he's gonna lose no matter what. Don't matter, you know, like Tudor said, you could give spike to somebody that don't know how to condition, they'll fuck him up. And a lot of good dogs have been messed up by keeps. So to that point, yeah, the keep does make all the difference in the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. And salute to Smooth Monty in the super chat showing love. Appreciate the support, man. Big supporter. Smooth
Smooth
Monty
Monty,
says,
salute. Yeah, he's a supporter, man. Thank
yes,
you.
indeed. He says, since we are entering spring, are there any things we should do to keep our dogs healthy? Welcome down, Ram.
Just make sure you know puppies on their
You breaking up?
fucking cleaned
There you
out.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you good.
I was saying keep your areas clean and keep y'all water bowls clean. You know, try to keep it with either some peppermint oil in it or some lavender oil in it. Keep the mosquitoes and all that other shit away from the dogs. And
Okay.
shit, enjoy that shit, man. Make sure y'all got y'all shade and shit together. Nice, cool spots for the dogs because it's getting hot. The was about to be, and just you know, enjoy that shit. Fucking start working them. Try all the shit y'all been listening to us say over the winter time. Start doing that shit, man. Post that shit. Let me see if y'all paying attention or y'all just here for the fucking because it's cool, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your take?
Yeah, you coming out of winter, that's the time to go through your whole yard, clean it up, refresh everything, you know, change their bedding, delouse them or deflea them, worm them, fresh water, all that is, the weather's nice right now. And because, you don't do a whole lot in the wintertime, now's the time to just get your yard squared away, clean up all the leaves, get all the junk out of their area. If they have it, make sure, like Ram said, they got shade and all that stuff. But it's the time to just go through and refresh everything. Muffin boxes, everything. It's the wintertime, like I said, you don't do much, it's so cold, especially if you live in real areas, And if you in Florida or Louisiana, something like that, you got to stay on top of it all the time in that respect. If you have 4 seasons like I do, or it start getting real hot, like where Ram lives, it's your time to bleach the areas and all that stuff. Get rid of all them bugs, preventative maintenance, all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And another question here is the percentages. He said, "What are the percent?" Let me blow this up real quick here so I can read it right. What are the percentages of getting a good solid yard off of using untested dogs dating 4 generations back? Do y'all understand that question?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your chances of getting good dogs if ain't nobody did shit with the dogs for 4 generations?
Right. Basically, yeah.
Like, ain't checked them or nothing, just bred them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it was like the fucking early 1900s and I was getting them from old man Henry, percentages would be high as fuck. But from one of these motherfuckers now, you might as well fucking go feed a Dalmatian. For real. Go get you some Dalmatian.
I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to laugh at anybody, but it's true.
Hell yeah, it's the truth. That's why it's funny. Yeah, these new motherfuckers, hell no.
You gonna make me choke on my coffee, Ram.
I'm just saying. If there's a reputable old school breeder, he old and he done matching dogs, but he's still breeding them. Like old school Frank Henry, I would take one from him, yeah. But anybody else, fuck no. I'll ask you why you still feeding them hoes, man. What is you doing? You just gonna let your line go to shit? The chances is so low of getting some good shit nowadays that I wouldn't do it. You be fucking wasting time. Might as well go in your room and jack off. At least you'll feel better at the end.
Then you'd be sad afterward.
The sad release.
Yeah.
What's your take, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, you can fix anything. But if you're starting off that way, it's real hard to fix it. You can do it, but you're going to have to go through the process. That's going to take time. And I don't mean a couple of months. And I don't mean a couple of years. It's going to take several years to do. It's best not to do that. Back in the day, like Graham mentioned, Henry or even Colby, they didn't match dogs, but they tested all their stuff. So you might get a dog from them where the pedigree don't have one winner in it, and maybe this is a little bit against what Graham said earlier. They checked their shit, Colby was known for that, and even Tudor said that he called them turn up. That was his schooling. And Tudor said some of them turn up were better than some of the matches that he's seen, which is different than today for obvious reasons. But it would be real hard to turn it around, and it would take a lot of time to do it. So I would have enough time left in me. I'm 62 years old, so it's never going to happen. But you don't know what you got. That's 4 generations, and it's not just the gameness and all that bullshit we talk about, fighting and all that stuff. It's not just that. It's temperament, it's behavior, it's health issues, it's structure, teeth and all kinds of shit, because you don't know what you got. All you have is a pedigree. That's why, in that respect, that pedigree wouldn't mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't care how the dog is bred.
Yeah, because you could, doing the good breedings and doing bulldog to bulldog, you could fucking lose all the constitution of the dog.
You're still gonna get curs, and you're still gonna get fucked up dogs off of that from using good solid dogs. So what do you think you're gonna get if you got 4 generations of nothing?
Yeah.
It's gonna be 10 times worse. It's gonna be 4 generations of shit. You know, that's just the way it is. And again, that's what has happened to almost every breed in the history of dogs. That they when they don't use them for their purpose, they go down and they go south, and it don't take but 2 generations to do that. So if you're 4 generations in, you're double fucked. 2 generations, you can ruin a bloodline. You can ruin a family of dogs by not doing nothing with it. And whether it's a hound dog or a racing greyhound or anything else, that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, it'll happen quick. So when people start talking about, you know, look at this pet and look at this breeding and 80 times Jeep and all that don't mean shit. It really don't. Because the staff is the perfect example of what happened to the pit bull breed. They're just show dogs. They have health problems. They ain't worth a shit. Big fat hogs that people don't do nothing with. If you don't do nothing with it, it's going to turn to nothing. So it's kind of harsh, but that's just what it is. That's the reality of it. And like I said, it ain't just bulldogs, man. It's every other breed of dog and every other domesticated animal. If you don't use it for its purpose, you're going to lose it.
That's literally the second law of nature. The first being self-preservation. The second is you use it or you lose it. Nature not going to let you hang on to shit that's not beneficial to the next generation. So you can fucking keep moving forward.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
in that respect, we're nature. We're Mother Nature. We're the ones who keep these standards and keep the animal to what it is. We domesticate them, so we made them.
We took on that role. You absolutely right. So we got to
Yeah.
take on that responsibility.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Lil Rock, what's your take on that question? Let me repeat it to you. What you said? What are the percentages of getting a good yard of dogs off of 4 generations of untested dogs?
None. I mean, are you serious? I mean, that was the question. Who asked that?
Yeah, some guy asked
it. I mean, I just came back, but come on, man. I mean, none.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
You could get. I mean, you can ask Richard. Give that to Richard. I mean, you can get lucky. Everybody can get lucky, but guess what? Nothing's coming after that.
Yeah, that's another good point. You know, you even bring a bunch of curs or even staffs, you know, that ain't been done shit for years and years. You might get one here or there, but a percentage of 1% out of one dog out of 1,000, that ain't nothing to be proud of, man. It's an accident. It's an anomaly. It's not a standard. You know,
literally a freak of nature.
That's it. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, get lucky, and I mean, that's like with any outcross or whatever, or a strange bloodline that pops up. You can get lucky, but come on, I mean, Richard, you didn't. I wasn't here, but I think you would have already handled that before I even got here.
Yeah. All right.
Yes,
Let me go to Zachariah 23 in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, family. Says, I have 11-month-old daughter and a son due July 6th. Want to get 2 female pups. Currently have 1 male. Any tips on managing family and multiple dogs? Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, family first.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you have a responsibility, your family first. You have a responsibility to properly care for them dogs. If you can't do it, guess which one's going? Ain't your family. You know, it's not worth it. But you can do it. If you got 3 dogs, that's not unobtainable to properly take care of them. You know, you do what you need to do, take care of your responsibilities. Even if you got to go out there late at night or get up early in the morning before you go to work, whatever. Take care of the dogs, you know, clean up, feed them, whatever. You may have to change the feed schedule to the morning rather than night. It may be later at night, and I'm talking 10, 11 at night. That's okay too. As long as they're taken care of and healthy and maintained, you're good, but don't let them interfere with your family. That's my take. A lot of dog men ain't that way. So that's just one opinion from one person, family oriented. That rests up.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Lil Rock, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I may have to go back in and charge my phone.
Okay. This is our last question anyway.
All right. My thing is, dude, never, ever, dude. I've been in this dog game for 30 years. Well, 40 years, because I just realized it was 40 years. Don't ever take anything out of the mouth of your kids to feed your dogs. I understand that we love our dogs more than anything. If you touch one of mine, we're gonna have a problem. It's gonna be a problem. But don't ever take any. I will never take anything out of the mouth of my kids to feed my dogs. If you're a dog man who loves what you do, you get space, and you give space to provide for the animals that you got. If you ain't got it, you're the biggest coward in the world. To me, to have dogs and to breed them and to not love them, like I said, I like to have. I think we talked about this with Bakari and my boy, dude. I want to love every dog I got, and that's what they're going to give 100% for you. 100%. If you don't have a dog that you love, that you remember holding them in your arms and all that, dude, I don't care. I love guys that's like my guy that had 300 dogs, bones from Vietnam kennels. But I love to have animals that I know and I love because I know they'll do it for me. You feel me? There's a total difference between guys in these days thought that if you have a dog, they're just not understanding that if you have a dog that you spoil and you have in the house, they're just not understanding that this dog might not be good because you spoiled him. And that's the total opposite. Does that make sense?
Right.
I'm going to love every animal I got. I'm going to know them. The guys, and that goes the same way also with the partners that I got in the dog game. I don't trust nobody. But if I know you and I love you, dude, we going down through this together. Same as with my dogs.
Yes, sir.
I look at this as I know you brought this up. I know I heard it on this page, especially with the roster man. This is a spiritual thing. This is our camaraderie. I mean, this is our thing. We got to protect this. We got to love this. If you're not a dog man who don't love the dog game for what it is, and you just trying to get money out of it, this ain't for you. This ain't for you.
Yes, indeed.
The roster man said that what did he call it? He called it a sorority. You feel me? He called it a sorority.
A fraternity. Sororities is for the ladies.
Okay, well,
Yeah. I only know that because I be going to college parties, hanging out with the sorority sisters. You know?
I don't want to say nothing.
But he said it's a fraternity, and when he said that, he said it over and over. When the first time he said that, I got it. No, I got it. And you guys, I mean, we're doing this. We're doing this group. We're doing this page, or we're doing this YouTube thing. But this is our stuff. This is our fraternity, and we got to protect it with all we got. And I'm just saying it because I know I'm all the way out because we're from the end the program. But at the end of the day, guys, this is our fraternity. We got to guard this with all we got. No fakes, no nothing. Go ahead. I'm out.
I'd like to add something to that.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
It helps if your family is involved with the dogs too, and you can't force that on them. but you can allow them if they want to be involved, and you can show appreciation for it. And you know, if you got kids, it's good to raise them kids with dogs. Well, it don't matter what kind of dog it is. There ain't nothing better than kids raised with dogs. If you have a significant other and you have children, if they want to be involved with them, allow it. It can be a great help. And every once in a while, you know, you might say, "Hey, fuck them dogs. Let's go do something." You know, honey, we got to take care of the dog. Honey, the dogs need this and that. Fuck them dogs. I'll take care of you. You might get a little extra, you know. But it just on that level, it helps a lot if your family is involved with the dogs too. They don't have to be into that all like we talk stuff, but just, you know, taking care of them, spending time with them. Your wife may feed them when you're at work, you know, show your appreciation, you know, and be a man about it. And it can be to your benefit and the dog's benefit too, you know. It's just a little add-on.
Yes, indeed. What's your take on it, Ram?
First, I say congratulations on the new addition to your baby boy, man. That's dope. You know, I love my daughters, but it's fun too having sons, you know, especially one that look like you and shit, you can trip out. That shit is crazy. When I also add, I would hold off on getting two pups just because both kids being that young would take up a lot of your time, man. That's a lot of development time that your 11-month-old baby going through, and then you're gonna have the newborn. He gonna be on your motherfucking helmet like a logo. So if anything, I would just get one pup, you know, and just make the load lighter on yourself. That way you can still afford to feed, you know, what you could afford to feed one dog, you could afford to feed two. That's always my rule of thumb. You know, if I can't fucking afford to feed what I'm still feeding, I feed some expensive shit. So my yard is according to what I feed, because I'm not changing up my feed for more dogs, you know. So just keep that in mind and just enjoy it, man. And like both the OG said, don't ever put the animals before nobody in your family. Be it, you know, you can't afford to feed them what you want to feed them, or you like this motherfucker, he bred up, you got him from, or you think the best breeder in the world, but the motherfucker don't like nobody but you. Fuck that dog, you know.
Yeah.
Good as he is,
Yeah.
whatever. Fuck him, because you could get another good one that's gonna fit your program. But that's the two things I would do. I would hold off on getting two pups. I would only get one pup and just rock out from there. It'll be cool on everybody. It won't be an additional fucking 3 mouths to feed plus your son and your little baby. You know, your lady might be like, "Man, motherfucker, everybody crying around this bitch." You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hear that.
Yeah.
You be the only one there happy. That shit ain't gonna work out for you. Trust me. That the happy life, happy wife shit is real.
Yeah. And I agree with brother Ram and brother Garcia on both of all their points. I think that, you know, I have dogs in the family, and I have my family's involved with the dogs. You know what I mean? They out there with me when I'm playing with the dogs, working the dogs. They out there. I try to have as much contact, interaction with the dogs in my family as possible, because I want my dogs to understand their place in this pack. Like you at the bottom. We love you, but you at the bottom, and don't ever get that fucked up. Don't ever think you above my kids or any of that shit. You gotta establish that shit and check the dog's temperaments and stuff. You don't want no surprises, 3 years into it and shit. You know what I mean? So I would definitely keep them around your family as much as possible, and just check your dog's temperature like that. You know what I mean? And like Mr. Garcia said, keep your family first. Family always gotta come first, man. And like Ram said, definitely I would only get one. I would only get one, because you don't know how that one female temperament is gonna be like, how much attention she needs, and if you get two of them, and they both crazy as hell or fucked up and require a lot more of your attention, then that's gonna put a lot of strain on your family and stuff. Your woman gonna start tripping, and why you always out there with them damn dogs? Your baby been crying for 30 minutes, that kind of shit, So good luck and be careful, bro, and congratulations, man.
Yeah. Congratulations on your new addition, and God bless your family.
Yes, indeed. And salute to everybody who came through and checked us out and supported us today. Smash that like button. We appreciate it. We'll catch y'all next week. Make sure y'all go over and register your dogs with Schoolboys International Coalition Dog Registry. You can hit them up on Facebook Messenger. The link to that is in the description underneath the video. You know what I mean? Any last words for the people, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, we appreciate everybody's support. And thanks for the plug. I have Keeps for sale too. Those been selling good, man. You helped me out a lot, 78. I appreciate it. And Ram too. Salute to everybody, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Welcome down, Ram. Why don't you go ahead and give us a disclaimer, brother?
Man, you already know, man. None of this shit is intended for, nor should it be used for any illegal purposes. And if your ass is trying to use this shit for that, man, keep it to yourself, man. You didn't hear it from here. You didn't get it from here. You feel me? It's okay to keep a secret. It's Monday, tomorrow Monday, man. So y'all be great, man. Hit that shit hard, man. Scratching the life, man. Other than that, shit, enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday, man. It was a cool-ass Bulldog Sunday show. See y'all motherfuckers on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
We up out of here, man. Peace.